Hey, good morning. Welcome to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Raynor. Friday, June 19th. It's been a very busy week in the sports world here in Onslow County, North Carolina especially. We got the East Coast Invitational kicked off last night. Thursday night kicked off. Games are playing today as we speak. We're going to have Wells Gulledge call in and talk a little ECI. And there's another acronym that was very important in the state of North Carolina this week. What was it? NHL maybe.
Maybe, just maybe.
Stanley Cup, SCF, Stanley Cup Finals. Carolina Hurricanes had a big week. We're going to talk about that more on our Hurricane Watch. But I do want to welcome our esteemed guest, the honorable and esteemed greatest probation officer that ever lived, Bill Ross. Thank you for being with us, Bill.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about your umpiring days and a lot of things that were over. Umpiring and probation overlapped. How about that?
Yes, sir.
You know the stories I'm talking about.
I do.
And then the other greatest probation officer that ever lived, Rick Marshburn. And we're talking state and federal level here, so they can both be the greatest that ever lived. Rick Marshburn, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
You're not a self-proclaimed, but I've proclaimed you to be an Onslow County sports historian. You know the stuff that's happened in Onslow County. Cardinal state championship in '82, the Southwest State Championships, things like that. You know, you're a sports guy.
I was there when it happened.
And we've dug out your trophy.
Absolutely.
This is your the best trophy you ever received, right?
Yeah, there's a big story behind it.
Well, we're going to talk about that coming up.
Gotcha.
We're going to tell the whole story.
Gotcha.
Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that Preston Kelly from the Preston Kelly Show, who's working as co-host today on my show, is your grandson.
Right.
You're very proud of him, aren't you?
Favorite grandson named Preston.
Absolutely. And you're very proud of Grandpa.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you call him Grandpa, Papa?
Papa.
Papa, okay.
Papa.
Papa Bear.
Gotcha.
We'll go with that. How about that?
That's great.
All right, we're going to tell a lot of good stories here coming up about all the stuff you guys have been into. Bill's already over here going, look, let's get this rolling. I got to do the sponsors, Bill. We got to pay the bills. We want to thank all our sponsors here on Sports Talk. Of course, Golden Corral and Billy's Sue. You guys like Golden Corral, don't you?
Love it.
I've been with Bill many times there. We enjoy the buffet. Bill knows that they put the speed bump in at the buffet for me because I go through it so fast. Rock Creek Golf and Country Club, Pro Rick Morton. Superior Metal Structures and Concrete there in Beulahville. National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Downey's Heating and Air Conditioning. Of course, Jason Humphrey and his crew. Jason sponsors our, I think he sponsors everything. He sponsors the Ospreys. He sponsors our Hurricane Watch. And that'll be switched after this week officially to an Osprey report. So, but we still have one good Hurricane Watch to do. A very good Hurricane Watch to do.
Very good.
I also want to thank CNS Paint, Ron Choate and Victor Case. PRQ Exteriors, Roofing Done Right here at home, Mr. Austin Wright. Fountain Management, Lisa Thornton and Sandra Fountain. Southern Touch Painting, Roger Carroll. All About Floors, Ron Prince. You know Ron pretty well, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good guy. Liberty Tire, Onslow County Motor Company, Ben Beasley. I've talked to Ben a couple times this week. Ben sponsors our racing report, which is a very interesting racing report, actually. A three winner in a row type thing. If you don't follow it, we'll tell you about it coming up. Bartley Insurance Services, Bill and Drew Mercer. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning. Jones Onslow EMC. Then Jones LP Gas in Verona. Bill, you still doing much grilling? Or don't grill a whole lot more?
Sure.
You got a propane tank?
Yeah.
Do you know that for $11 you can get it refilled on Fridays at Jones LP Gas?
That's right.
You know that because you listen to Sports Talk.
Yes, that's
right.
exactly right.
Same with you, Rick. If you got an
Absolutely.
LP cylinder, go get in line at Verona because I'm sure it starts about the rifle range down there for that $11 cylinder refill. And that's every Friday like today. You can go and get it done for $11.
Good deal.
Lane and Associates Family Dentistry, of course, the official dentist of the Carolina Hurricanes. Now they can get all them boys' teeth fixed.
Yes.
The season's over. Go ahead and get them teeth, that bridge work, them crowns, them all that stuff done for next season. Because they will lose a tooth or two every now and then. We want to give special thanks to Helen's Kitchen and Billy Grissett. We're going to wait and eat afterwards, so it'll be a little later. So I had them bring you burgers and BLTs. Cheeseburgers and BLTs. Is that sufficient?
That's very sufficient.
Okay. Good stuff. Thank you to Billy Grissett and Helen's Kitchen for keeping our Sports Talk crew well fed. You can listen, watch, and connect with WSME971.com. That's our website. Everything spiders off the website. Hollywood, the man behind that curtain over there, does an amazing job of getting everything right off the website, WSME971.com. You can listen to the live Sports Talk stream, connect to our YouTube and Facebook pages. By the way, wave to everyone in YouTube and Facebook land. Bill's like, I don't want to wave. And catch full episodes and highlights. You can also take WSME 97.1 WSME with you now. We have an app. The Freedom 97.1 WSME app is in the Apple App Store. Just search Freedom 97.1 WSME, and you can listen live anywhere. Keep up with Sports Talk. Take your hometown station with you wherever you go, and Google Play is coming soon for your Android devices. Won't be long, so wait for that. Watching us on Facebook or YouTube, scan the QR code right up there. Do you see a QR code? You know why? Because the magician back here has got it there on the screen. Scan the QR code at the top left of your screen and head straight to our website. It's right there. You can't miss it. Studio hotlines 910-346-2248. And also, once again, connect now at WSME971.com. Yeah. All right, that's a lot of words. All right, I'm done. Y'all talk. All right, who wants to start first? Bill, let's jump in with your illustrious career with the state, of course, but that's not what people are here to hear today.
That's true.
We do want to mention, though, that 35 years ago, you guys got on a radio show with Mike Shadid. Do you remember what the station was then?
Ask your neighbor.
1240 WJNC,
WJNC.
which I don't even think exists anymore. It's a different thing. But back then with WJNC, you guys got on the air.
Talked about probation.
And talked about probation, parole. Told everybody all their little questions they had about, and we've even informed Hollywood here about, a lot of people don't know that probation's instead of going to prison. Parole's after you get out of prison. You know, that's the basic gist of it, right?
Right, some exceptions.
So we have a lot of stories that will overlap with that, but you guys went 35 years. You did that article so well, that story so well, that you went 35 years before you got back on the radio.
Yeah, and Bill was my boss for 5 years.
And a lot of stuff has happened in 35 years.
Absolutely.
So you started with state probation then?
Correct.
Okay, and then you went on to the feds.
Right.
Went big time.
So Bill, while you were state probation officer and, of course, supervisor, chief in Onslow County for years, you also were, what was it called, a Wildcat umpire?
Yeah,
Not to do with Richlands, but
Right.
tell us the story of the Wildcat.
I would umpire in Virginia Beach, where I was from when I was in high school, and then I taught school for a couple years in Angier and umpired in the summer. And I came to Onslow as a probation officer in '72. In '73, thought about umpiring, so I saw an article in the paper, the New River Association. Went to where I thought I was supposed to go, and I was at the wrong place. I met Ken Hagan at Jack Amiette, and Ken said, "No, you're at the wrong place." And I said, "Well, I'm supposed to be an umpire meeting, and I was interested in being an umpire." And he said, "Well, there's such and such a place. They've already probably met." And I turned around to leave, and he turned around to go back to his office. He said, "Wait a minute." He said, "I'm looking for umpires for the city." I said, "Well, I'm your guy." And so just started the illustrious career of almost 30 years, or pretty close to 30 years with the city. Worked with Ken. Then I worked with Pete Andrews, Jeff Weaver, David Lynch, and Mike Carter. Worked with them. They were my bosses throughout my career. And I have to say they were super individuals to work with. One story was when I first started umpiring, I did not realize that Ken was coaching one of the teams, and I was umpiring the bases. And there was a play at second base where the second baseman claimed that he touched the guy with the ball when the guy was running to second. And I said no and called the guy safe. Well, here comes Ken running out to argue with me. And he had just hired me. I said, "I'm not going to last long here." Well, it
Did
got
you throw him
worse.
out?
Well, no, he didn't do that. But it got worse. The second baseman said, "Dad, I tagged him." Well, Dad was Ken Hagan. Said, "No, I got the son and the father both." And I said, "Lord, I know I'm not going to last long now." So anyway, got it resolved, and Ken went on back to the dugout. But
Yeah, walking that little tightrope there, weren't
yeah,
you?
just I said,
All you
well,
needed was Governor Jim Martin's son out there to throw him out
that's
too,
it.
and you'd have
I
been,
didn't do that.
you'd had the whole shooting
So
match.
I really never threw any coach out in Little League the whole time I umpired. There was a story. I got a call from Ken one day. He said, "I want you to do Pee Wee." I said, "I've never done Pee Wee before." He said, "Well, you won't have any trouble." Well, that's like asking somebody for directions, and they say, "Oh, yeah, it's easy to get to," and you end up in Saudi Arabia somewhere. It doesn't work that way. So I went out there and watched Pee Wee, where the coach throws to the little fella.
Coach pitch, they call it now.
Yeah, coach pitch, and you have to decide where, when they throw the ball in, you stop the little fellas. Well, there's 7 or 8 little guys, and the coach tells them, you just run. And then, of course, you have to stop them where you think the ball, when they throw the ball in,
When they throw it
stop
through
them.
the
Infield.
the home field or the pitcher's mound
Yeah,
zone.
somewhere around there, yeah. Well, this didn't appear to appeal to me at all. I said, but I went ahead and did the games. So one night I'm out there and made a call when to stop the guy, and all of a sudden this coach just comes flying out at me, and I said, "What in the world is wrong with this guy?" And he was really upset, and I backed up. He came to me, he kept coming at me in my face, and I backed up again. He still came at me. I said, "Well, there's no place for this guy to go but to throw him out." So I threw him out, and the crowd had gotten to know me fairly well, and it was utter silence by the fans. Said, "Ross threw somebody out." And so I called, of course, anything that was a problem, I always called the rec department the next day. I said, "Look," I said, "I threw this guy out, Pee Wee of all places." I said, "This is ridiculous." So the next night, the following night, the coach was out there, and he was waiting on me, and he said, "Look, I want to apologize for everything that I did. I was in the wrong and everything." I said, "Fine, no problem. Everything's good." So the next night, I'm umpiring. He's out there. He's got his team out there. Have another play. Here he comes again. Comes out again. I said, "Got to be kidding." Well, same thing went on. Had to throw him out. And I felt like the only game I ever felt like I was losing control, that was it. I mean, everybody was really fired up. And the other umpire, his name was Ike Eisenhower. He came over. He had just finished his game. He had the junior league game. He said, "Bill, you need some help?" I said, "Yep, sure do." I said, "This is getting a little out of hand." And
Like a zoo, wasn't it?
yeah, it was a little bit wild. So not real wild or anything, but nobody was hitting anybody. But it was, you could tell people were getting unglued. So he helped me out, finished the game, and I think the coach got the word and everything got settled down, what have you. But that was really the only coach that I dismissed in my whole career, and of all that being Pee Wee. But I'd have to say I really enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed. You certainly weren't out there for the money, but I enjoyed. I worked with a lot of really good people. Shorty Laster, Mike Munford, Israel. His first name was Emmanuel. I always called him Israel. Bill Haley, Ike, and James Brown. And I even worked a couple games with our esteemed judge, Chuck Henry. Judge Henry.
Yeah, I forgot he did baseball too.
Yeah, but Chuck was always known for soccer, and he did football. And I've known Chuck for a long time. When he first came to Onslow County, he was in back behind us in our office. I went back there to meet him, introduced myself. I didn't even know he had a law degree. He was an advisor for the city. And so I worked a few games with him, and he was excellent. Chuck was very good. I mean, there's no doubt. But I think the best one I worked with was Shorty Laster. He's no longer with us, but
Was he a tall guy?
he was short, and that helped him. And he was kind of broad, and of course that's why they called him Shorty.
Well, back in law enforcement, though, every time you ever ran across a guy named Tiny, he was usually 7'1".
Right.
Remember?
I know. But anyway, Laster, I remember seeing one of his children in Food Line one day. I guess it was about 20, 30 years ago. And I made a point to go see him, and I said, I want to tell you something. I said, your dad was the best umpire I ever worked with. I said, I've worked with a lot of them, but he was low to the ground, and everybody knew him.
He could see the strike zone.
And he could see the strike zone, and he was low. He looked like an umpire. He had all the motions of it, his attitude,
Well,
and
now
everything.
you had a distinct call too, and we're gonna get to that in just a second.
we don't want to get to
We
that.
got We're getting ready to get a call in. We got Wells Gulledge calling in from the East Coast Invitational.
Okay.
And then we're going to get back to that because you had a very distinctive way of calling,
Yeah,
man. We're going to get to that.
yeah.
Can you still scrub one of those off when we need to here in a minute?
No, we don't need to
You don't need
that.
to do that?
I'm
Okay.
retired
I'll just
from
kind
that.
of tell people how to do it.
I did want to say about Mike Mumford was really, really good. This Israel fella I worked with, there was something about him, and he looked real athletic, and he had, and this was a long time ago. I hope I tell the story right. He had signed with the Houston Astros, and the farm team had hurt his knee, and he took a big interest in the kids. He would talk to them, do a little extra, and he
Hold
was
that
great
thought
to
for
work
just
with.
a minute. We're going to get back to that.
Go ahead.
Remember Mike Mumford. We got to take this call real quick.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to Sports Talk. Who do we have on the
Chris,
line
how are you
there?
doing?
Is this Wells
Can you hear me?
Gulledge?
Yeah, buddy. How are you?
Is this the godfather of the East Coast Invitational?
Yeah, bud. We're strung out right now.
Welcome to Sports Talk, man. You guys got started last night, Thursday night. Getting ready to get rolling Friday morning. Already got games started. I know you got a lot going on. Tell us a little bit about what's going on today. The admission, the times and stuff, the passes, things like that. People can do to go see the East Coast Invitational.
You know, the best thing for everybody is to really log on to www.eciteamcamp.com. That'll navigate you through the process for admissions. Also, you'll have the ability to see the game schedules and also pull up any type of live streaming services that we have, because we are live streaming every game. So that's your website for all the information that you need. And we're ready to get Friday going, and just look forward to some great competitive games. And Friday night we've got some great matchups coming to us, so you better get here early.
And it'll be pool play last night, today, and then first thing Saturday. Then you'll break, divide the teams up by their pool play records, and go at it, go to war for the tournament. Correct?
Yeah, buddy. You know how it goes. You've been in the hot seat announcing for the past several years, and once it separates to the tournament, when it becomes single elimination, I think everybody's goal is not only to develop their kids, some of their players while they're here. So I look at it as, develop our guys, let everybody play until it becomes tournament time. Then you play to win. So you'll see things pick up real quick, and guys will be more aggressive. You'll notice that officials will be calling it a little bit tighter when it becomes that. And, that's when really that you find out potentially what you're going to have going into next year.
Well, just off the top of your head, obviously your buddy Reggie Bullock. Give some of the names of the competitors, some of the top flight competitors that have participated in this over the year, just so people know exactly what kind of a top flight tournament this is.
Man, Reggie, of course, Reggie was with us at Kinston, and Brandon Ingram and Herbert Hill, second round draft pick by the 76ers, who played at Providence. You can go on down the line, buddy. I mean, it's Leaky Black's played.
Did Kobe White play?
Kobe White. Yeah, Kobe. Kobe's been here, and he returned to watch them several times.
That's
so,
awesome.
So you got Leaky and Kobe and Wendell Moore, Davon Sharp, who's with the Nets now. Quentin Copels, who ended up being a football guy, 16th overall pick.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah, but we got there's some football guys that have played in it too. Percy Harvin, who came through Florida and was with the Vikings, played. So I'll be quite honest with you. There's so many kids. There's probably 8 to 10 pros that have come by, that have come through, and we're just happy to have their teams. But the biggest thing is it's not only just about the teams. We also chase after coaches too. We want high quality basketball. And here's the thing: you can have 4 number one or 4 top 100 players. If you don't know how to act in a hotel and you're not a disciplined team, you probably won't be invited to the East Coast Invitational. That's just,
true.
you know, that's the facts where it comes to that. So, you know, us having 3 officials, we're one of the very few camps in the summertime that has 3 officials, and we're blessed to have Jamie Lucky, Jerry Heater, and Tommy Morsey of the ACC. Also, one of the commissioners from the Big East will be coming down. So, you know, we've had Tony Brothers, who just got finished calling NBA finals. So we've got a referee camp within the basketball camp.
Yeah.
They're training. They're the future referees that are going to be replacing them someday. So we've got a lot going on in here, buddy.
Oh yeah, man. Big time going on over there. I'm looking forward to getting back over there today and calling some more games. You know, I always look forward to the lunch and the dinner too. You know me, I'm a man of generous appetite, of course. But everything is streamed on the website. You have broadcasters, myself and some others. Preston Kelly's gonna be doing some this year, so you can have some good stuff going on with the website. Everything can come off of your website, including the list we talked about, the players you were talking about. That list is on there too, the East Coast Invitational alumni, correct?
Yes, that is. Currently, it's not up to date because there's just been so many kids, and that's what we're going to do. We'll ask the coaches to please send us. With social media, we can go and connect with these coaches, and we want to have that updated for next year. And not just the guys that played in the ACC or the SEC. You know, we want to know about the kids that have gone on to Division II, Division III programs, just so that we can give those guys a little credit for walking through the door here.
Good deal. And we'll let you get back. I know you got a lot going on, your duties to work everything there. Did you bring your son again to help run the tournament?
Hey, bud, that's a great question. He's actually a rising 9th grader. And,
Really?
Yeah, he'll be strapping his boots on, man. I lost my mule. Baker, man, he did a whole lot of heavy lifting.
Man, I'd be sitting over there trying to run something. Baker come up behind me and help me fix it. And that was when he was like 12 years old. He knows how to run the camp. He's the heir apparent. When the Godfather passes it to the next level. So he's playing in the tournament this year.
He is.
That's
awesome. He's so fired up, and the thing about Baker is he's worked really hard, and he's a small guy, but he plays with a big heart.
He strikes me as being very scrappy.
Oh, he's going to be scrappy. And there again, it really comes down to, in my humble opinion, I don't think he's ready for varsity basketball just because of the speed of the game coming from middle school. You've got to be an elite kind of guy to be able to do that. But just with a few little injuries and some vacations on with some of our kids, I think that he'll probably be logging a few minutes out there. I just hope he, just starts stacking his chips and get a little bit better each time out. And now, if he turns that thing over 2 or 3 times, he's not my son. He can be yours.
He's a player all of a sudden. Well, just make sure you remind him that there was another player from Wilmington years ago that didn't make the varsity as a sophomore, and he turned out okay.
Yeah, he turned out all right.
Man, I just watched that movie last night. Gave me goosebumps.
Oh, you did. And just to see them, you almost felt like they were actually pulling up to her. The way they played the movie and everything looked just like Wilmington. They had to film it there with the moss hanging off the trees and stuff. So yeah, a great movie there. The movie Air about Michael Jordan. Now we're gonna let you get back to it. Is there anything you want to say else before we go, or are you good to go?
No, buddy. We just appreciate all our sponsors. Jones Onslow and Jacksonville Onslow Sports Commission, Chick-fil-A and Golden Corral and Guild Mortgage Company, and it's just the city of Jacksonville, and the school system. So, honestly, it's a collective group of people that really work hard. And, we were on Man Cave Media the other night and sat down with Steve and Scott. And I don't know if you saw that one, Raynor, but they said the economical impact since we've been doing this is $9 million plus for the economic impact. So
yeah, we've had Marisa and Scott on here to talk about it, and the hotel stays, the restaurants, the stores. They love it coming.
Yeah, you got to fill up with gas down here. It's cheaper than Wilmington or Raleigh.
That's right. Well, we'll let you go,
listen,
man. And I'll tell Todd I'm not delinquent my duties. I'm promoting the ECI, and I'll be over there shortly.
All right, buddy. I'm going to shove this biscuit and get ready to go. Let's
All right,
go.
take care, man. We'll see you in a little bit. Thank you, Wells.
Got it. Thank you.
Wells Gulch, the godfather of the college East Coast Invitational, is kicking off yesterday and continuing today. We're going to talk more with Bill Ross, Rick Marshburn, and Preston Kelly when we return here on Sports Talk. Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Raynor. Friday, June 19th. Thanks once again to Wells Gulch for calling in from the East Coast Invitational. Make sure you get out today, Friday, and see some of those games. You can get a tournament pass or you can get a single-day pass for whatever day. And then, of course, Saturday and Sunday is the tournament where they get all the pool play together and really slug it out for the championship. All right, Bill. We had that interruption, and I apologize. Mike Mumford, you were telling us a story about Mike.
No,
Is it
Mike
Mike?
was really good. I was talking about Israel. He had played in a farm team with
Not the country, but the guy.
Right.
Okay.
And he was just exceptional and a true athlete. And I worked with him for a good while. But the coaches, really, if not all of them, most of them really had a positive effect on the kids. Good to work with. Any problems, rec department took care of it, called the next day if there was a problem.
And you mentioned a
Very
couple of the rec
dedicated.
department names already. Ken Hagan, Mike Carter. You can't have a rec department discussion without those two names
Oh
usually
yeah,
popping
Hagan
up.
was well.
They were
Hagan
great.
used to umpire. Found this out later. Umpired in California, and I'm sure he was great because he knew his stuff, and he was great to work for. He came out one night, and of course everybody, Hagan's here. Why is he here? Well, he came to see me. So the inning was over, and I said, "Well, what you doing here?" He said, "Well, I want to talk to you." I said, "What you need?" He said, "I want you to speed the games up." I said, "I've never heard."
Were you the guy that invented the pitch clock?
No, no, didn't have that. Well, we were hour and 30 minutes was time for the games, but
Yeah.
I said, okay, whatever you want me to do is fine. So he left, and I kept on going, so it worked out fine. But he was really, really, just really good. He supported his people. He worked hard, set a positive example for everybody, and he really got things going. I mean, he was really good. And
Well,
the
you were-
people he brought along that worked for him learned from him, and always had a lot of respect for him. He
Well,
just-
you talked about the pace of game. I remember a distinct time where I helped you slow that game down. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
I want to jump in with Rick Marsh. We have Bill Ross, Wildcat umpire. Is that the
well, they
name
called sometimes they called us that we weren't
because you
with
weren't part of
him.
the association.
Yeah, we weren't part of the association.
And then, of course, we got Rick Marshburn with us, too. Rick, this is your time to shine. Tell us everything you know about sports. We'll be here forever.
It would take a couple of minutes and we'd be gone.
No, it wouldn't. Take a while. You're like us. You can talk about it forever. You're mighty proud of your grandson here, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Grandson,
Absolutely.
you're mighty proud of Papa. Papa.
Yeah. I brought my trophy in today. And
Tell us about the trophy.
a brief story, much shorter than Bill's, but I was attending Jacksonville Junior High, which is now New Bridge,
Which is right across the street.
which is right
Yes.
across the street. I was in the 9th grade, and I didn't make the school basketball team. Coach Small, many of you knew Coach Small. Great teacher, great coach, and even a better person. But we had intramurals back then. And we had, 6 or 8 teams at Jacksonville Junior High. And I was the center on one of the teams.
How tall are you?
At 6 foot tall, I was the center.
Then, how tall are you now?
6'2", probably. But Jimmy Dedman, some of you know Jimmy Dedman, he was the point guard. And a few things I remember about that season. One, I remember we made it to the championship game, and I scored 1 point in the game. I got fouled when I was shooting. I made 1 out of 2.
And that was your point.
And that was my point. And we lost the game. But at the end of the season, they passed out trophies. And they gave out a number of trophies. And my trophy was not for being the most valuable player, most points. Mine was for sportsmanship.
Does it say that? It says that on there.
It says sportsmanship on the trophy. I wasn't so proud of it then, but I'm more proud of it today.
Well, you are a true sportsman, and I'm great with a sportsmanship trophy, a hustle trophy. I don't like the new thing though, the participation trophy. Everybody gets a trophy nowadays.
Yeah, I keep thinking the Onslow County Hall of Fame committee will contact me, but
because of your sportsmanship trophy.
Yeah, but I haven't been called yet.
Well, you know, Mike Carter, who Bill talked about, is the godfather of the Sports Commission Hall of Fame.
Okay, well maybe he's listening.
If you know Mike, I'll get with Mike and we'll have you presented. Preston, get the forms and draw up all his accolades. The sportsmanship trophy, don't forget that.
And 1 point, don't forget that.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have that
absolutely
submitted to the Hall of Fame for their consideration.
Yeah, I apprit it.
Can't guarantee anything. Now, you followed local sports for years, obviously. You went to Jacksonville High School.
Graduated from Jacksonville High School in 1970.
A proud Cardinal.
Proud Cardinal.
Now you live out in the Southwest area. You're a Cardinal and a Stallion now.
I'm an old Cardinal and ECU Pirate.
ECU Pirate.
And a Stallion.
So you graduated from ECU too?
Yes.
So the basketball coach at ECU didn't come calling when he heard about your sportsmanship award?
He didn't. I'm amazed, but he never did.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
We didn't have cell phones back then, so I guess that's why.
I'm surprised. Ed Emery or some of them didn't come calling to have you play football too. Who was the football coach there when you were there?
Oh, I couldn't. Oh man,
It may have been Emery because that was roughly about that time.
It probably was, but they had some great seasons back then.
Oh, they did. Remember the year where they had East Carolina went down to Florida 3 times.
Oh yes.
Came back with 3 losses, but every one of them was like a crazy play that they easily could have won the game and been undefeated the entire season.
And then later, Steve Logan came and did really well.
And that's one of the worst moves they ever made, getting rid of him.
Absolutely.
And hold that thought, because we're going to talk about that when we come back, because that is an interesting addition. We're talking about Steve Logan. We'll be right back on Sports Talk. Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Raynor. Friday, June 19th, we have Bill Ross, the greatest umpire and greatest probation officer that ever lived. Oh, jeez. Yeah. We have Rick Marshburn, the other greatest probation officer and the greatest sportsman who ever lived. And we have Preston Kelly from the Preston Kelly Show. Preston, you're going to help me with our racing report, sponsored by, of course, Onslow County Motor Company. I've worked with them a lot. I see the cars they get in. I do some things for them. And, buddy, they got a Charger down there that sounds like it's straight off the back when Dodge was in it, straight off the racetrack. That thing is nasty. They got a Mustang convertible down there, just came in. Illumina Z34, remember that? From back in the Days of Thunder era.
Yep.
A two-door Lumina. You know how rare that is to see anymore? So Ben's got a ton of cars under. Go check them out. Our racing report is all Denny Hamlin. Tell us about him.
Let's talk about it. Denny is
He's your driver too, isn't he?
he is indeed my driver, and he's gotten really hot here the last 3 weeks. Winning the last 3 races. I want to say the first one was Michigan, and then it went Poneco, and then they were just in
Nashville, Michigan, and Pocono.
Yes, yep. That's exactly what it was. But yeah, he's kind of just come out of nowhere, chasing Tyler Reddick, who was hot to begin the year off. He won quite a few races to start the season off. So Danny's always been sitting in second for the most part this year, but these 3 races, these 3 wins, these past 3 races have really drawn him very much almost even to Tyler as they look to fight for that top spot atop the Cup Series standings.
And you talk about Tyler Reddick. He won 3 in a row to start the season.
I think so.
And then 5 out of the first 7.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And he's still stuck at 5 wins, though. I mean, but he's still finishing top 3 most weeks. This is like a dogfight. It's going to be between these two for the points championship.
It is crazy.
Right now.
It's funny too because Denny's won. I want to say the last 4 out of the 5 because he won the All-Star race, and then they went down to
I forgot about
they
that.
went to Charlotte, and Suarez won that race, and then I don't think it was this week wasn't one that did it, but Denny I think it was the second of the third. That was the one that he passed Kyle Busch all time in Cup Series wins. So
Cup
that was
Series wins, yeah.
so that was a very special moment for him. So yeah, he's it's crazy. He's been doing this so long, and yet he's kind of died down the last as of recently. But this year he's kind of fired it back up all of a sudden.
And of course, you can't help but love it. The tragedy that happened with his family, the off season,
Yep.
The fire and everything, and just Denny to come back and do what he's doing. He was when I was hot and heavy in NASCAR in the '90s and early 2000s, late '80s. Denny was coming in during that later period there and still getting it and at a high rate. Now, are you guys NASCAR fans, Bill? And
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
So have you watched much this year?
Not too much.
Have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's
It's
everything they
experience.
say is different when you're there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's loud. This car is loud.
Which track did you go to?
Went to Charlotte, saw the Coca-Cola 600.
The big one, the long one, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And now, of course, Charlotte has finally, got back to their senses. They don't have the Roval anymore in the fall. The thing where they did the part of the oval and then the road course.
road course.
So now they're going back, starting this fall to the old, standard oval. How about you, Rick? You ever been to a NASCAR race?
Never made it.
You
Just
gotta
on
take
TV.
you, man. You ever been to one before?
I haven't been to one either.
Let's all go to Bristol then. Rick, if you'll buy, I'll go
great.
show you how it works.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
I'll let you know
We'll
when.
give you the ins and outs.
I'll let you know when.
Well, I can tell you when. It's September. September will be the next. I think that Bristol actually has either a June or July race and then a September race, I think. So
I think one's isn't one the standard race, and then the other one's a dirt track race, right?
I don't know if they've gone back to that year or not, but they did do that a couple years, I know. But yeah, a dirt track at Bristol. That's old school racing right there, buddy.
I know, right?
So I'm guessing Tyler Reddick is still leading the points. What do you say?
I'm 95%
Oh,
sure
I
that
love this
he is.
website. It pops it right up. Guess who's second?
Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin, yeah. Ryan Blaney, both of those in Toyotas. Tyler Reddick and Denny Hamlin. Third in the points is Ryan Blaney. Chase Elliott in a Chevrolet. So, of course, Bill Elliott's son. So a lot of bloodlines there. NASCAR season's heating up, and it had kind of hit a lull there, but it's kind of getting back to where it's getting that old feel about it again,
Yeah.
So go check out your local tracks too. Carteret Speedway, of course, the Speedway here in Onslow County. Go check them out, and there's a lot of good racing out there. And once again, we want to thank Onslow County Motor Company and Ben Beasley and his crew, of course, for sponsoring our racing report. Anything else you want to add to the racing report before we go?
No,
You did a good job there.
appreciate
Do
it.
you do a racing report on your Preston Kelly show all the time?
I don't. I really don't. I
Well, see
don't
if
get
you
to talk
You
about
want to see if I can get
NASCAR
Denny
much.
Hamlin on your show?
That'd be great. You know.
I get Denny Hamlin. He's coming here first. Trust me. And then we'll share. Next break, are we good or keep getting it? All right. We're gonna take our last break. We'll come back. We'll be all open ended with Rick and Bill. We'll come back on Sports Talk. Hey, welcome back to Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chris Raynor. Friday, June 19th. We have Bill Ross and Rick Marshburn and Preston Kelly with us today. We're going to jump right into our Hurricanes watch. You heard the Scorpions rocking like a hurricane. Well, the city of Raleigh has been rocking like a hurricane ever since. Sunday night, let me set the stage for you. Going into Game 6, Hurricanes were up 3-2. On the road in Las Vegas, the place they were playing, the coach there said he didn't even take his clothes out of the hotel he was staying in Raleigh because they were coming back to Raleigh to essentially play for the Cup in Game 7.
Bet that fired the
Well,
boys
I
up a
think
little
his
bit.
clothes can be sent to him now because there's no need to come back. That comment probably resonated a little bit with the Hurricanes. What do you think?
That would have made me mad.
Yeah, that ticked me off.
That would have made me
Every now
mad.
and then they say something that just you're like, what are you doing?
Wish I had said that. Yeah,
Bulletin board
really.
material, you know.
Really.
So the Canes were up 3-2 going into Sunday's game. Let's see, that was the only game we had since last Friday. It was Sunday's game. The Canes had a huge watch party. It says something about what hockey has become here in the state of North Carolina when you can sell out a almost 20,000 seat arena for a watch party. All people were doing was watching on the monitor, but yet it was full. And we went and you actually had the game experience like you were there. Obviously, I
Yep.
wasn't getting ready to go to Vegas. They even had it full out in the parking lot for another watch party outside. There was actually mention of going over to Carter Finley and doing it. But
Like packing the stadium out
yeah,
and putting it up there?
well, they probably wouldn't have. I don't think they filled Carter Finley. That would have been. Real,
I think they
it's
could have
possible
gotten
they
pretty
could have,
close, honestly.
But to do Carter Finley and Nova at the same time would have been a parking nightmare.
Yes.
So I think that's why they backed off that a little bit. They had to keep it within reason. Canes going to win 3-0 Sunday night, win the Stanley Cup, second time. You big hockey fan, Bill?
Yeah, I watched the Stanley Cup. Yeah,
Did
I
you?
enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
I mean, they really came on, didn't
They
they?
did. They played really super defense. I mean, when the other team Las Vegas got the puck, that Carolina guy was right on him.
Yep.
I mean, they were just right on top of it.
Marked him the whole time, was able to get it out when they needed to, keep it away from the goalie. And the goalie situation was really interesting because you have Frederick Anderson was the goalie, the flavor of the month coming into the playoffs, won 13 games for him in the playoffs, and then hit a little bit of a wall there. I don't know if it was a physical condition. They don't tell you anything in hockey. It's not like other sports where he blew his ACL. They'll say lower body injury. That's all you get. But I don't think he was even on the injury list. But he had a game where he gave up 4 goals, bam, 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 and you could just see he wasn't there. I don't know if it was being tired from all the playoff work and all the work he had done. But the backup goalie came in, Brandon Bussey, and next thing you know, he's stopping everything like
on the bus.
like Spider-Man up there.
Really good.
And Hurricanes scored 3 goals within 39 seconds, and another goal to tie it up at 4-all. Of course, it was kind of a fluke goal that lost it in the end, but that kind of cemented Bussey as getting his next start. Gets his next start, wins the game. Gets the second start, so I guess he's 2-0 is what he. No, it would be 3-0, wouldn't it?
It would be 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0 because he had 3 end up with 3 starts, won 5-3 and 2-4,
And one shutout.
4-2, and then coming into the last one a shutout.
A shutout.
3-0 to win the cup. You just got to go with what's hot. You guys have been around sports long enough to know that if somebody's hot, like Carolina Panthers last year, they had Chuba Hubbard at running back, and then all of a sudden Rico Dowdle gets
Rico.
2 games, 200 yards a game. You go with what's hot. Isn't that true?
That's true.
Yeah, you got to go with what's hot. Like when you're umpiring, if strike's the hot call, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, if you say so.
That worked well for Leslie Nielsen in the Naked Gun, didn't it? That's the way I pictured Bill calling balls and strikes. We'll talk about that more. But that's our Hurricanes watch. Congratulations. Carolina Hurricanes, Stanley Cup champions, world champions. Second time now, 2006 and now 2026. So I hope we don't have to wait until 2046 for the next one. We're looking forward to next year being another stellar season. Thank you to Downey's Heating and Air Conditioning. Jason Humphrey is a huge Caniac, loves going to games. So we're going to make sure we get with him next year and try and get to some games. We've got about 6,437 people that I've talked about going to games with, Hurricanes games. So we're going to try and work that out for next year. But once again, congratulations. Thank you to Jason Humphrey, too, at Downey's Heating and Air for sponsoring our Hurricanes Watch. And that winds up this season. So starting next week, we'll have Jason sponsoring the Ospreys Report from the Nest there. He's already the big sponsor out there. So we're going to jump right into this day in sports history. We'll just take turns doing it. I'll start with 1846 at the Elysian Fields in Hoboken, New Jersey. The New York Knickerbockers play the New York Nine in the first recorded baseball game using rules that help shape the modern game. Knickerbockers lost 23-1. Wow. Proving that even historic days can be rough days at the ballpark. Do you remember those kind of games, Bill? The blowouts.
Yeah.
You just find yourself trying to get to the end.
Yeah.
Did they have the mercy rule always, or is it kind of a newer thing?
No, we had it.
Always had it at a certain time. All right, you got the next one, Bill. The Belmont Stakes in 1867.
1867, Belmont Stakes is born. Gilbert Kilpatrick rode ruthless to victory in the first ever Belmont Stakes. The race would go on to become one of the horse racing's most prestigious events, and the final jewel of the Triple Crown.
Now, weren't you kind of a horse racing guy too?
No, I don't think so.
You're like,
I'm
no.
not a horse racer.
There's somebody else apparently. You ever been to one of them before, Kentucky Derby? Or anything?
No, I
Anybody?
went and visited, saw the
Churchill Downs?
Yeah, Churchill Downs is great. I mean,
Awesome facility.
fantastic. Yeah, just
I'd love to go to one time. If I had to pick one, of course, it'd be Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
All right, Preston, we're getting closer to the century you were born in, so
A little bit.
we're getting there.
1936, Max Schmeling shocks Joe Louis in one of boxing's greatest upsets. Max Schmeling knocked out Joe Louis in the 12th round. Louis would later get his revenge and become one of the sport's all-time great champions, but on this night, the boxing world was stunned.
And that's one of those fights like the Tyson fight, and I know that was before your time too. All these were. Boxing ain't what it used to be, but
Yeah.
back when we all were watching it, of course, you remember the iconic call by Howard Cosell. Down goes Frazier. I mean, Howard Cosell just had that distinctive voice. But boxing just used to be a whole different animal back then. All right, Rick, you got the next one.
1938, Italy defeats Hungary 4-1 in the FIFA World Cup final, becoming back-to-back world champions after also winning the tournament in 1934.
Now, of course, this is very appropriate timing. World Cup going on now
We're right
here
in the
in
start of
America. You know a little bit more about it than I do, Preston, the World Cup. You don't? Okay,
Yikes.
sorry.
I'll try.
We'll give it a shot. I know the Americans won 4-1 in their first match.
Paraguay, isn't that who they beat?
Paraguay,
Paraguay.
And I think they play tomorrow or tonight actually.
Who do they play? Australia? Is that who it is?
I think it
Yeah,
is.
I
You're
think
right.
it's
Tonight
right.
against
Okay.
Australia. So that's been a week basically since last Saturday to this Friday.
It's been more
Is it going to
consistent.
take that long to get it played out? Or
I'm
do they
trying to
pick
watch
up a little
because
bit?
I think it operates very much closely the same because I'm a baseball guy, and the World Baseball Classic was also this year, and they do the pools and the drawings very similarly. I think once there's just a lot of countries that normally just aren't as good. Like I'd happen to be watched late last night. The Argentina game was on, and of course
Yeah.
Lionel Messi is like one of the greatest soccer players to ever play, and he scored like 3 times on him last night, and like.
Wow.
He's pretty good.
He's
Most
all
people
right.
know about him. Actually, USA and Australia's this afternoon at 3:00.
There you go.
So that's pretty cool.
They're kicking off in 9 or they'll
Yeah,
be,
we'll be
they'll,
long.
they'll
It'll
have
be about 3-4 more hours, but
Yeah.
we'll be broadcasting games tonight from the.
from the
We'll have to
basketball.
keep the little monitor on like we did a lot of the Ospreys games.
Yes.
You'd be surprised how many hockey games we watched while we were calling Ospreys games at the same
How many
time.
games in general?
I think it was 3 games that overlapped the same night. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
But when you're a sports guy, you make it work.
You have to.
All right, so World Cup going on. Go USA. I love the commercial with Michael Ruzioni, who has been on the show before as a calling guest, where the guys at the bar are talking about it would take a miracle for the United States to win.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ruzioni says, well, hey, you got to believe in miracles.
Yeah.
You know, and it happens.
That's a good commercial.
All right, so the next up is 1942. That's me, right?
Yep.
Paul Wainer reaches 3,000 hits. Hall of Famer Paul Big Poison Wainer. There's got to be a reason for that name. Big Poison Wainer collect his 3,000 hit of his major league career, becoming just the 7th player in baseball history to reach the milestone. Probably many more since then, but 3,000 hits is still a benchmark.
Yes.
All right, Bill, you got the Michael Jordan one.
1984, Michael Jordan is drafted. The Chicago Bulls selected Michael Jordan with the 3rd overall pick in the NBA draft. 2 teams passed on him first, but Chicago landed a player who would become one of the greatest athletes in sports history.
Who were the 2 teams?
I can tell you. Can anybody else tell?
I have no idea.
Why do I-
Houston and Portland. Houston picked Akeem Olajuwon, who was a no-brainer.
You really can't go
7
wrong with
footer,
that,
and the way
yeah.
he was playing at that time, there's no doubt. But Portland picked Sam Bowie from Kentucky, and I remember Sam Bowie playing in college, and I knew he was soft. And back then, though, nobody thought a 6'6" guard could change the game like Jordan did. You've seen the movie. Everybody's seen the movie Air. Great movie, and as Wells was talking about earlier, it's very accurate as far as people didn't think that a guard was one of those. You know, everybody was looking for that 7-foot center.
Yeah.
And that's just the way basketball rolled back then. But
That's right.
obviously, he showed that at 6'6" he could dominate the game.
He was all right.
All right, LeBron, man.
All right.
All right, Preston, you got the next one.
1999, Dallas wins the Stanley Cup. The Dallas Stars defeat the Buffalo Sabres 4-2 to capture the Stanley Cup. The championship came on one of the most controversial goals in NHL history, scored by Brett Hull in triple overtime.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a while back, 99. I didn't even know they were the Dallas Stars, and I thought they were still the Minnesota North Stars back then. But that was like 7 years even before the Canes won their first one, which was in 2006. So that's been a while ago. We got one more current one. You'll take that one for us, Rick.
All right, 2011, Roy McIlroy won the U.S. Open in record-setting fashion, announcing himself as golf's next superstar with one of the most impressive major championship performances ever, and one of my favorite golfers, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Rory, I think, was the one that everybody thought would be the Tiger Woods,
Yep.
arch nemesis, and Tiger with his issues he's had. Of course, that's kind of fell by the wayside recently. And there's been so much going on in the sports world in Onslow County and the world, of course, with the Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup. The East Coast Invitational going on this week. Ospreys baseball and the College World Series. So much going on that I haven't even paid attention to the U.S. Open yet. I mean, this is the second day now, and we'll have to get on that a little bit more next week. But the U.S. Open is this weekend. Today's the second day that we play, so check that action out amongst all the other things going on. And then, of course, this weekend, who do you think's the favorite this weekend? Without us knowing who's even leading right now.
Is it
Scotty.
I was about to say,
Scotty.
I don't know if he's the favorite, but isn't it if he wins this one, he becomes a
Career-
major
career-
champ?
Yep.
Grand
Career
Slam, or
Grand
whatever
Slam.
it is, yeah.
Go Scotty.
He's already won the Masters, the British Open, and the PGA,
Yep.
so this will be his career slam.
Yep.
It's best I can remember.
Yep.
So that's this day in sports history. A lot of stuff going on. This is one of those times, of periods of the year when all the seasons cross-reference. You had the Knicks winning we had to mention that too. The Knicks won the NBA championship one night, and then the Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup the next night. So those seasons are finally over. The two longest probably seasons of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Baseball's pretty long too, though.
Baseball can get very. I mean,
Kicks off in April, 1st of April, or late May.
the
and
pros they don't
March.
even get done till late
October.
October,
Yeah.
early November is when the World Series gets played. So, and we're right in the middle of it. The All-Star break will be next month, and so it's a lot of shocking teams, I think, too. Like, just there's a lot of baseball's been fun so far, and I'd say that as a national fan. They're currently 4 games over 500 record-wise, and for it to be this late into the season, and they're doing good, it's a shocker to me. And then your Braves are
Braves are kicking it. They're doing
the
good
best
right
team in
now.
the NL.
Had
along
3
right
losses
there,
in
the
a row
Dodgers.
and still the best record in the league. So,
Yes.
yeah, they're doing well. They rebounded from that three in a row, but I think they're 5-5 their last 10. Yeah, so Braves are doing really well. I would have to say probably hockey's the longest season. Starts in October, ends in
Just ended here in June. Yeah.
And then basketball is very similar. I think basketball actually starts in November though.
Basketball starts in,
Late October.
I think they start late October as well. The hockey and basketball are about the same. I think they
Roughly.
both, I don't know how many games is the regular season for NHL. It's probably around 80 something, I would think. But
Yeah.
I know NBA is 82, so, and then you add in the playoffs. So, I mean, it definitely gets long.
And it's ironic that football, which wouldn't all four agree, whether you like football or not, agree that it's the biggest draw in America.
Without a
by
question.
far.
Yeah.
So it's the shortest one. You only start in September. It's the week after Labor Day they start,
And you got to
you're
think
done
too.
by February.
You got to think too. NFL, they only play 1 game a week compared to these other teams
True.
that are playing multiple games in the week. So you only get to see them you only get to see them 17 times out of the 18 because you got the
Yeah.
bye, and then even then, like half of the games
Yeah.
are home and half the games are away, and then you get to the playoffs, and playoffs are only 4 weeks, so it goes by very quickly.
One a week, and there's a 17-game season. You got hockey's got 82 games. I think basketball is 82 or 84.
It's 82.
NBA, and then baseball has 160 something.
162.
Yeah, so
162.
obviously we are looking forward to it. Bill, you gonna go to Raleigh if we get a baseball team?
Oh, yeah.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? To have a
Have a
Major
good
League
time.
Baseball team
Yeah.
2 hours away and can actually go. And I would be killing those weekday games. Being retired, we would all go because Preston he still have to work. And go
Yeah.
to school.
Somebody's got to.
But being those weekday games, you've seen the games on TV during the week. Not as big in attendance because of the time of
Yep.
day. That's
Right.
the time I want to go.
Yep.
Go an afternoon matinee game. That'd be a great time to go. All right, so let's jump back into some stories. I want to tell one on my former supervisor here with probation parole. I was just a brash ignorant probation officer, and Bill took me under his wing. The greatest probation officer that ever lived, and he did what he could to make me a decent officer. So we're out one night, and we have this guy, this hooligan, that we have to do a search on. And when you do a search, you get a couple officers together, and you go to his house. You don't have to have a warrant. You just go in because they're on probation. Search for things they're not supposed to have. If they don't have anything, they're fine. If they have something, they have a problem. But in order to do that, you have to get permission from the greatest probation officer that ever lived and my supervisor, Bill Rose. So we call Bill's house. His wife tells us he's umpiring a game out at, was it Joe Morgan Field?
Yeah.
Right there at Cheney Creek, you know. I said, okay, well, we have no choice. This is before cell phones, and he would have had it on him anyway. So before the cell phone days and stuff, so we get in the state car, guns and badge on, our shirts and all that stuff, head over there, me and another officer, Jim Bateman, and we pull up to the baseball field there. Well, Bill's umpiring the base pass, and kid hits the ball, and play's going on. Bill spots that state car, and he's treating us, buddy. He's sitting there watching us, and the kid gets to first base, but goes, time out. Got to talk to my probation officer. So we go over there and have like a 30-minute staffing over this case. You can imagine what the fans are doing, just going nuts trying to get back to the game. But Bill ran the show over there. I mean, he was the umpire that, you know, you had some run-ins with fans before that you, like officers, like remember Shannon Peel?
Oh, yeah.
She was officer you had, and her kid was out there playing, and she'd be cursing you from the stands because you called him out or something, you know.
Kathy Mallard.
Great times, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but Bill put on a show too, if you ever
He
saw
did,
it.
and when I said it, I said, time out. You know, everybody knew it, you know. It was no, he's not one of those that was just a wallflower.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do it justice, but he won't do it, so I'm going to try. Whenever that ball came in as a strike, he'd say,
Yeah. Like the World Series. Like the World Series.
It was laid out there for you, buddy. It reminded me of Leslie Nielsen in The Naked Gun.
Yep.
You remember when he realized that he finally had to call strikes and he got into it? That was Bill, buddy. A showman.
I enjoyed it.
You did enjoy it,
Had a
didn't you?
good time. Yeah, I would think Little League or any organized sports for young people, I mean, 10, 9, 8, 11, 12. If you're a parent and the kid's willing to get the child into some type of organized sport, whether it be tennis, baseball, football, or basketball, but you really, if you want to learn about your child, you don't learn too much when they win, but when they lose,
Yes.
you can see, how do they respect authority? Do they look at the umpire, the referee, what they think? How they play with others, not only the opposing team, but their teammates? How they socialize with other team members and everything. You can learn a lot from your child just by observing them in a organized setting with sports. And I've always been a big promoter of Little League. I've always had a big effect on me, obviously. And just really great to go out there and support your kid and the other kids. Can't say enough good things. I had great coaches that I was fortunate enough to work with. I really thought a lot of them. And I really had a long career. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like everything else, got old, but just had a great time. So all good things must come to an end, but I've really had a great time. Really enjoyed the people. And the rec department in Jacksonville is super. We've got two now that are Michael Corey and Susan Baptist, really good folks, and they're the leadership now to rec. And
Well, they're the
they
modern day Ken Hagens and
Right,
Mike
yeah,
Carter.
right, yeah. And they do a really good job. A lot of hard work, a lot of time spent. That, things just don't happen. It takes work, planning, and they've got so many different events going on, and they really do good. So the city's in good hands. So
Well, Little League Baseball is truly a slice of Americana, in my opinion.
exactly.
As a former Little League Baseball coach, when my kid played and my cousins played, as a parent, your life's rolling along, and then all of a sudden your kid signs up for Little League, and your life has changed. Because all of a sudden, the things you used to do at night at the house, working in the garden or mowing the grass, they're done.
You're at
the
practice and in
ballpark
games.
and the practices, and you don't know where you found the time until that time, and you just
exactly
do it.
right.
And
Yeah.
so many of those magical nights out there with your kids on that field and the things that happen, whether they won or lost. I remember hearing somebody say one time, talking about a kid being a sore loser, and I remember somebody else saying, well, he's not a very good winner either. Because, when he would win, he'd be kind of insufferable too. So,
Right.
some kids are, just that way, but
Sure.
it teaches those lessons. And Rick, you're no stranger to it. This kid right here,
Sportsmanship.
award.
Yeah, thank you.
I was talking more about going to the ball games, your grandson, when your kids played.
Absolutely.
You remember those days? Did you ever you ever one of those things where your kids signed up and nobody wanted to be the coach, so you had to be the coach? You were lucky enough to have somebody that was doing it?
No. But let me tell you one of my favorite stories. Be real brief. I've gone to
We got
Southwest.
all the time you need.
I've gone to Southwest football games for years, and I never met Phil Padgett, did not know him, but I was always impressed with the way he operated at the football games.
Yeah.
And I remember so well going a year or 2 years after he retired, it was like something had left the building. Mm-hmm. It was just different. It was like
Well,
Elvis.
I think every generation gets
Yeah.
a little different. Even just looking at games, and Preston's probably not like me saying this because he likes the showmanship now in baseball. Well, he may not, but nowadays, watching the College World Series, a kid gets a double. First thing he does when he gets to second base is done
Celebrates.
some kind of dance or some kind of thing back to the dugout.
Yep.
20 years ago, Nolan Ryan would have took his head off the next time he came up the bat.
Yeah.
Now they're hitting home runs, and after the round first base, they're waving by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Nolan Ryan or Roger Clemens, they'd eat them alive.
Yeah.
They'd have probably hit the next batter up
Yeah.
just to say, look, this is what you got coming
Yeah.
the next time you come back. It's just a different game
Different
now.
game.
Absolutely.
It
Do you think
certainly
it's
is.
part of the? I know banana ball's a big thing with a lot of people. And I don't think that's part of it. Where do you think the game kind of started doing that? What do you think, Preston?
Well, I can't answer that because my head coach was Roy Jarman,
Yeah,
right?
you'd be on
And
the bench,
You'd be on the bench.
Yeah.
The thing that he preached the most was win with class. But I mean, from
Act
my
like you've been there. Yeah.
from my personal opinion, just from watching it and just getting a little bit of experience just outside of just high school baseball and just baseball in general, I think when you see guys celebrate, almost a little bit too, like as a player, like it almost fires you up to like, for me, I don't want to necessarily throw at the guy, but it makes me want to win 100%
You're talking about
more.
from the other team.
And from an other team perspective, just in general, like it just it's a competitive aspect. Like I'm telling you right now, there have been moments that like I'm sure you've seen at the ballpark. I'll get somebody strike out looking on a curveball, strike three at the end of the inning. I'm going to let out the biggest yell that you've ever heard.
But you're doing it going off the field. You're not doing it directed at him. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is
but
different.
there have been moments, and it is different. But at the same time, too, like if you, as a pitcher, like if you hit a home run off of me and you start celebrating and everything, like it's not necessarily going to rub me the wrong way because you won that at bat.
You won the battle.
And I got to
Yeah.
tip your cap to that and everything like that. So whenever you come up next at bat and I strike you out looking, I'm going to do the same thing back to you. So it's a competitive aspect. I get why other people will look at it and everything. And
Good gun say it. Old people.
the older
like me,
generation,
yeah.
like they will
Old
look at
folks
it
like myself.
and they will shake their heads and everything. But
That whippersnapper shouldn't be doing that.
people just,
I tan his hide of people on my team.
people just have to understand that the game has evolved so much to just not
Evolved
even just
or devolved? We'll go with
evolved
Okay.
100%. I mean, just look at the way that it's playing now. I don't think you when you were umpiring games, I don't think you were seeing people throw 100 miles per hour like they were, like they are now.
Yeah, if you had a kid throwing 100 miles per hour, you would already signed him up.
I mean, think about it. Like UNC, they've got a kid that's younger than I am. He's 17 years old and he's throwing 97
Is that the kid
miles
with the
per hour.
glasses?
No, that's Walker
It's
McDuffie.
the milk. It's all the milk.
it's the
it's-
hormones of the chicken.
but it is just it's just crazy to watch and see that especially too. But yeah.
Well, Bill, do you remember any of the big time players that you or not coached but umpired against, or not against but umpired for, and called the
guy-
games?
the
Louis
guy-
Meadows. Did you ever have Louis out there?
No, I did an all-star game. One of the players was the guy from played with the Boston Red Sox, I think.
Trot Nixon.
Trot Nixon. He played for Wilmington, and saw him. Didn't know it. Of course, didn't know anything about him. But he was he was up there. And,
Well, Trott's kid is playing now, and
Really?
and I've got some inside scoop. Some folks that I know that know the Nixon family. We're trying to get Trott to do the show. I'd love to get him in the studio though. We can always get him to call, I think, but it's so much better live and in person. Like,
Oh, yeah.
imagine if you were calling on the phone. Like, we had to have Wells call because he can't get away from the East Coast Invitational, but it's just more. I don't know, just something about being in the studio. As much as I love that interview with Michael Ruzioni, it went on 2 hours on the phone.
Right.
But could you imagine sitting here beside one of the greatest sports? You got to call it like it is, one of the greatest sports heroes in American history. Not
true.
because people loved hockey, but because it was a bigger stage. It was America. It was he was a true patriot. You know, with what they did. They weren't out there. They were kids playing in college. They weren't out there to do what they did as a statement. As a country, but that's what it happened.
That's what happened.
You remember the time back then? It was just a bad time.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
coming off the Carter administration. Gas. People were sitting in line for gas. People don't even know about the gas prices now. What it was like to sit in line and wait to get 5 gallons of gas.
Yeah.
It was a different.
It was
just
bad.
a different era.
Yeah.
Now, who was that announcer for that game?
Al Michaels.
Al
Al,
Michaels,
that's
yeah.
exactly right.
Do you believe in miracles?
Do
And
you
there's,
believe-
Yeah, he
we've
did a
talked
good-
on the show about. I want to make a list of those iconic calls. I think it was Vin Scully that did the "I don't believe what I've seen" thing with Kirk Gibson when he hits a one-legged home run to win the World Series off Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah, I
remember that. Yeah.
You have, of course, Down Goes Frazier.
Yeah.
Giants win the pennant. You know, do you believe in miracles? There's some of those calls that are just, they stick in your head. Bob Costas had several. Howard Cosell was a different bird too. wasn't he?
Cosell was great.
He was awesome. He
Listen to him
got
all
some
day.
hot water
Yeah.
running his mouth a little bit here and there,
Right.
but
He
Had a
was
great voice, though. Great
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
for it.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
he just would stop and then
Yeah.
trail right
Yeah.
off. He
was a
just
warrior.
he had that distinctive voice.
You've never seen a video of him, have you, Preston?
I'll send it to you.
You need to check
He
him
will.
out. You need to check him
Cosell
out.
was a different
He was
animal.
really great.
Very unique.
When
He
you
was
talk
great.
about Howard Cosell, Dandy Don Meredith, and who was the guy that married Kathleen Gifford?
Frank.
Gifford,
Yeah.
Frank Gifford. You talk about a Monday night team, buddy,
Yeah.
that was,
Boy, they were good.
man, it was just fun just to listen to them.
Just
Remember the
listen
party's
to him.
over?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Don, not Don.
Yeah, that was Meredith.
That was
Don
Meredith.
Meredith, yeah.
He sang that.
He starts to turn out the
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
The party's over.
So good. Really
Great.
good.
It was just a great time, and we're boring the crap out of Preston. You're talking about the old days, but remember when you had 3 channels, and one of the only football games you saw all week long was Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
You didn't see every single game, so you had that glut. You had that special Monday night window
Monday
when that
night.
was what you watched.
Didn't
you used to be the
miss it.
same with baseball, remember?
Yeah.
You had
Didn't
Monday
miss
Night Baseball. That was the only time you saw baseball all week because you had 3 channels. It wasn't, where every single game you could go to on demand or
Some streaming network now.
or even turn
Yeah.
on ESPN and see one every night. You know?
Yeah.
It was a different time. What's some other? You got anything else you want to share about the umpiring days?
No, just that, just really, you just have certain things that you have to. What I worried about was low pitches. The little fellas,
Yeah.
their knees, and I tried to stay away from low strikes. And
You wanted to bring it up a little and make a game out of it.
once,
didn't
well, sometimes I had to get on my knees. Well, I had to tell the catcher, so look, I'm on my knees back here. Don't come straight back because you're going to run me over. Go around me.
you talking about when it was a really short one.
Yeah, well, short guy, and so I just got on my knees and said, look, I can't go anywhere. But you depend on people. Your scorekeeper was always behind me, and he helped me out a lot. I told him, I said, you see something that I should know, let me know. Something goes on, and like if there's a play at home plate, you got to watch the bat boy because the bat boy is going to come after that bat, and you got a guy coming in from third into home. Here comes your bat boy, so you
I know what
grab
you're
the bat
laughing at
boy.
already.
You grab the bat boy and you pull him off. Then you got to make your call. And the catcher, he's got that mitt under the guy that's sliding. So you're yelling at the catcher, show me the ball, show me the ball. So you can call him out or safe.
Yeah.
And you got the fans waiting for you. And the longer you wait to make that call, the more suspect your call's going to be. So you want to go ahead and say, let's, see that ball quick so you can call him out or safe. And, but it bothered me. I mean, I still, even hate to admit it, but I still today think about calls that I made. I had to make a call one time, umpire interference on myself. That didn't go well because
imagine.
you're trying to explain. You want to stay away from the rules. I mean, technical stuff like interference and obstructions. And these little guys, I mean, the little leaguers, they accidentally run into each other, and it's just not coordinated. And so you kind of want to wait a second or two and see how that develops before you. Sometimes it's a delayed dead pause. Sometimes you have to call it right away. But you kind of want to wait and see how that develops. But I tried to stay away from the obstructions, and unless it was obvious that this guy got in the way of a play.
And you thought it was intentional or something?
Yeah. Now the big boys, the junior league fellas,
Some of them had enough moxie to do stuff like that. Yeah.
when they play at home and that guy's coming in, these guys are pretty big. These 13, 14-year-olds, they were pretty big size, and they'd come in, and I tell the coach, I said, now if they raise that shoulder, I said, they're going to be out. I said, because that's unnecessary. You can't do that. And so I'd tell them ahead of time, and before games, I'd tell the coaches. Of course, once the season got going, I didn't have to say anything, but I'd tell the coaches, because safety was always number one. I'd tell the coaches, I said, look, if I think one of these guys is hurt, they get hit by the ball or they run into each other or whatever, I said, I'm stopping it. I said, don't care what the rule book says. I said, I'm stopping it. We're going to run to the kid, make sure he's all right. Then I'll put the players where they need to be, the runners and everything, whatever. And that worked out real well. So, but, you kind of, I had an advantage because I was out there all the time. They used me a lot, and I didn't mind it. I was out there. I enjoyed it. And but sometimes on Saturday afternoons, started working at 2, and you ended up at 9 or 10 at night and a long day.
And it weren't in the cool time of the year.
No, it was hot, but I didn't sweat. Of course, I do now, but back then.
Well, I just thought you were an
didn't
alien
sweat.
anyway because the way you approached a lot of things.
Well,
So that
I like
explains
to
a lot.
talk. I'd talk to the fans and different things, and it always.
Could you hear the fans behind you? Did you have rabbit ears? You know what
Yeah,
rabbit ears
I think
are, right?
anybody. I think you. That's a good point. I think you need to be aware of what's going on. I mean, the fans. It doesn't hurt to be kind of saying what's the conversation, or whatever. But that you made a bad call. I mean, I knew it as soon as I let it out of my mouth. I said, and I'd say some bad things to myself. Say, you got to pick it up. But you've got the position's real important. The closer you are to that call, the less controversial it's going to be. If you get out of position and people looking at you say, well, how could he see it that far? And you have positions, like I said, it's important to be as close as you can. Sometimes you can't. When you're doing the bases, you're kind of far away from the.
Yeah, because you're calling 3 bases instead of just
Yeah.
one play.
Well, we talked beforehand. Whether you want the plate umpire to call third, you want the umpire on the bases to call third. We talk about it, see who would won. I had one call of the umpire was at third base. The home plate umpire was making a call at third, and another guy was coming home, and so I saw it coming, and so I ran from first base to home plate, and I made the call at home, and that was pretty impressive. People were pretty impressed with that. So that guy knows what he's
You can
doing.
move like a gazelle back then.
Well, back then I could move. Now it's hard to make it. But
Well, I've often told some of the guys I could be a fine basketball referee, but I would stand at center court and I would pivot this way, I'd pivot that way. That's it. The running, I need it, but my legs just don't do it like they used to.
well, people know. I mean, Little League is not the time to brag. I mean,
They want to know that you put your effort into it.
yeah, and you want to do it. You represent the city. That's who's paying you, and you want to give a good light, set a good example, be positive, smile. They're going to go up to. If you of course, we had a lot of bad days at work, and sometimes you go and you say, got to go umpire, and you might not be up to it, but you get a good attitude real quick and say, okay, had a bad day at work, but I'm going to umpire now, so start all over again. So that's having a good attitude and be positive is real important. You don't want to carry over what we had at work.
Bad day at the probation
Yeah,
office,
it's a
yeah.
bad day at probation. You don't want a bad day on the battlefield or let it slip out that you're not feeling well or something. You give it 100%. I thought the kids deserved it, and coaches, fans, everybody. So it has a lot to do with it.
Well, one of the unfortunate things that sports has come to is the chatter that and just the roasting sometimes that officials get from parents and fans now. It's sad to me that somewhere out there's a young referee or umpire that may have hung it up that could have been the next 30-year umpire, out there doing a great job and had the skills to do that, but just got tired of hearing all the crap from parents and fans.
Yeah.
And it's basketball, in my opinion, is the worst because you're right there.
Right there.
You're running by people this close to you. Baseball, at least you got a fence between you and them. And softball, but they're still very close. Football is probably the best because it's a little bit of more of a buffer zone, other than the fence lines and stuff. But basketball, it's tough, man. You've seen games, or the horror stories where a fan take a swing at a referee, and same thing in baseball, come on the field, and it's just terrible.
Plus, at the end of the game, they're right there on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't. It's hard for you to get out.
They need to do, in my opinion, a better job of policing.
Yeah.
If you got that fan that's getting to that point, they got to go.
Yeah.
I just think it's time to leave and let. The bottom line is you're out there, the referees are out there, the other officials are out there doing the very best they can, and they're the closest one to it. If they blow it because of a bad angle and you saw it better, there's nothing you can do about that. It happens. And I just wish people would. I've never seen a referee or an umpire say, "Okay, I'm gonna start doing better for your team because you're chewing me out and cussing me out."
No.
I just don't think that works that way.
Yeah, you can do that. You got to be real mature, and you've got to be confident, but you don't want to set a bad example, and you don't want to say the wrong thing, and you want to be in control. Perfect job if you want to learn self-control, because you just can't. And it's the same job as when you're probation officers. You can't get a. Of course, I used to yell once in a while at them and say different things, but
Yeah, the
you
officers
don't-
or the offenders?
well, the
Or both?
offenders,
Yeah.
you want to be, you be professional, but you just want to set a positive example, because who you're representing the city of Jacksonville, and you don't want to forget that, and you don't want to go off or lose your temper or everything, because that's just wrong. You need to do something else for a living, work in a little office with nobody, or
Photo mat back when they had it. or
yeah,
something.
right, something like that.
Well, we talked earlier about your first time doing a Pee Wee game, coach pitch, they call it now. Did you ever have to do T-ball?
No, I
just
did. I
didn't.
forgot
I can't
see.
see you do a T-ball.
But I
You
got
talking
out.
about herding cats, buddy?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Pee Wee, I finally told Ken. I said, look, I said I don't even like the setup of it.
No.
I said I don't, and so I didn't do.
I would say
put me out
probably
there anymore.
95% of your games were
Little
kids
League,
pitching against
Little
each
League or
other,
Junior League, yeah.
Little
And
League
I
or Junior,
enjoyed. If you have a good game, you usually have good umpires, and All-Star games are really. I really loved them because the game was over in about 40 minutes, because they were throwing
Yeah.
aspirin tablets up there, and you were just in a rocking chair, man. Strike. And really great, great athletes, really good athletes, and so I really enjoyed that. And we were using 4 umpires, so we had a good time.
There you
Did
go.
you ever have one of those games you prayed would get over and
Oh,
it just
yeah.
would not end?
The guy pitcher couldn't get the ball over the plate, and had people come up to him and said, "Bill, you got to widen the strikes." And I said, "I'm doing the best I can. What you do?"
Hey, he threw it up on the screen and I call that a strike.
Can't do that. But and to see I'd follow the kids sometime. Some of them became attorneys, and some of them did this, that, and the other. And I'd see them out in the area sometime, and I must say I saw very few of them on probation. And back then our office was small enough you could keep up with people, and
You're talking about your former Little Leaguers.
yeah,
Yeah, because it instilled that
there's-
sense of value and that sense of
they just
competition and
I guess
fair play.
It
and
says a
things.
lot about the organized sports.
What'd they pay you back then, Bill? You remember?
I started at $2.50, I think.
For the game
Yeah,
or an hour?
no,
For the
$2.50 a
game.
game.
Wow.
Yeah, always got paid by the game.
Sounds about like what we made as probation officers.
Yeah.
Yeah, to start with.
That's true. Yeah.
Now, Preston, we talked about it out at the Ospreys game the other night about how the beauty of baseball is, baseball just has a different feel because there's no clock. As long as you got a strike and you got an out, you have a chance for that miracle comeback.
Yep.
You've seen games that look like just totally over. and then a 9-run bottom of the ninth. The next thing you know, you're back in business.
Yep.
One of those games that it's just that's the magical thing about baseball. And Yogi Berra, in all his quirkiness, of course,
it's
you're a big
great.
Yogi Berra fan. It's
Yeah.
not over till it's over.
Yeah.
Now you are a Yankees fan, right?
Oh yeah, I love the Yankees. Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Bruce Scarron.
Do you have any kind of a collection cards or
Used
anything?
to, yeah. Gave
What
it
happened to it?
I gave it to my daughter. One of-
So it's somewhere in a Wisconsin flea market somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Probably. yeah.
Bless her heart. Tell her if she ever gets ready to sell, let me know, and I'll check with her.
The clock, though, has helped baseball.
You're talking the pitch clock,
Yeah, the clock has helped.
and the hitter clock or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
It has. Go to a game, and particularly in person, it is amazing how the game goes faster.
Yeah.
You don't have one of those pitch clocks with the Ospreys.
No,
Sadly
and,
not.
and really, it's not the pitch clock as much as just is the whole dynamic of having 20 pitchers to go to.
Yeah.
If you get a guy in a jam after 3 pitches, you can bring in another pitcher.
And collegiate baseball, a little bit different, right?
Yeah, it's a little different.
Well, especially for the Ospreys League and everything, this is more of a platform to where these guys are getting
Yeah.
work before they go and play for their legit college team and everything like that. So
The
there's
competition is one thing.
the
but it's more of
competition, but it's more for
showcase.
to keep these guys, their best and keep them warm, and it's a way for them to be able to stay in a competition environment,
gotcha.
especially for the pitchers as well. Like I know for a fact, a lot of these pitchers that the Osprey they have a certain amount of innings that they're going to be set to pitch that month. Like they might be a 10 inning month that they want to have, and there's a certain standard that they have to follow. So it kind of gets away from the certain competitive aspect of it. I think you do see it sometimes. The competitive environment is still there for sure, because at the end of the day, like their baseball players are going to be competitive no matter what. But that is for sure what the league is all about, and why you aren't seeing a lot of the different things that you'd see in maybe a different, like the main college games or anywhere close to that.
It's kind of it's designed that way.
Yes,
Yeah, I
that's
got you.
exactly what it's designed for.
And by the way, my name's Chris
The
Hollywood.
man behind this. Pay no
Yeah, and
attention to that man
if you're watching on
He's the great
on
and
the
powerful Oz over there.
socials right now, you see the guy behind the curtain. You can't
Guy
see me.
behind
And
the
I just popped in for like the first time. If you're listening, like who the heck is that guy? Since we're talking about the Ospreys, don't forget we got the Ospreys
Yeah,
game of the week. Can you mention that? We're doing this for a few games. Pretty cool.
Ospreys game of the week. We've been doing I like to call it Tuesday night baseball too, because
Yeah, it's
they're
pretty
all
cool.
on Tuesday nights. We have it'll be 5 games total, correct? Did the opening night?
I think it's
Or is it 4
it's
total?
Three
4?
total. And the opening night, by the way, that was the ninth, the bottom of the ninth. That was amazing, right?
That wasn't opening night.
That was the
Not-
second
not
game that
opening
we
night,
did.
but the second game. But
game.
that was pretty cool.
And to lay the groundwork for you, because we haven't done our first Osprey report yet. Liam, what's his name?
Liam Goodhart.
Comes up to bat in the bottom of the ninth. Ospreys it's one of those games where if you left early, you missed a great game.
It's
Never
8-5.
leave early.
The Yogi Berra.
90% of the time, it's gonna be the outcome you thought it would be, but that 10%, you
Yeah.
see that miracle finish. So they come up to bat, bases loaded,
Losing
2
8 to
outs,
5,
wasn't it?
losing 8-5. I don't remember how many outs there were. I
But
want to say there
losing
was
8 to
one.
5.
There was
So-
one.
And he hits a grand slam to win it. So it was not just a grand slam to win it by 4 runs, like you're tied, or 3 runs, you're down 1. You're down the magic number, 3 runs, the perfect grand slam to win 9-8.
Yes.
On a
Beautiful.
walk-off.
It was
Yeah.
storybook. It was straight out of a movie, and my
It was
goodness.
so cool.
Yeah.
The only thing that was different was he didn't hit the lights and shatter the lights.
Oh,
like,
yeah, there you go.
Robert Redford in The
Yeah,
Natural.
Natural, yeah.
Have you seen all these movies we're talking about?
I've
If
seen-
not, you need to see them.
I've
Bull
seen
Durham.
a little bit. It's
If
crazy.
you haven't seen Bull Durham, you've missed one of the greatest baseball movies ever. in my
I gotta
opinion.
watch all these baseball movies
got
and
to watch
everything.
it.
Bull
Yeah.
Durham's
Movie
awesome.
night. Chris's house.
Yeah, movie night. We need to start doing that at the Ospreys ballpark after the game. We'll start watching a movie out there, But
That'd be cool.
yeah, Bull Durham, they'd have to tone down the language just a little bit.
Yeah, a little
It's-
bit.
It had a little raciness to it, like minor league teams do. But our next one up is Tuesday, June 23rd, Tuesday night baseball, Osprey game of the week. It's the Jacksonville Ospreys versus the Charlotte Shallywags. Do y'all know what a Shallywag is? As best we can tell, it's a pirate alligator. That's what their mascot is. So
Pirate alligator.
that's what the picture is a pirate alligator, the Shallywags.
All right.
Pregame show that night will be at 6:15 on June 23rd. First pitch at 6:30. Already had the one, and then we have the next one coming up Tuesday, July 14th. This is a great name. The Jacksonville Ospreys versus the Laurinburg Highland Hooligans.
Yes.
A little Scottish theme there.
Wasn't it? What was it? Highland that we were playing that they hit the
9-8
walk off.
game,
Yep. Okay.
So we got 2 Highland Hooligan games. We can only hope that we can duplicate that. finish.
Redo it. Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be the last 2 games. Of course, some great things coming up in Osprey Land this week. Saturday is one of the true games you don't want to miss, and that's why they've limited tickets to. You can't use all the flex tickets for this game. It's the Once a Marine, Always Marine night. They're going to do a lot of great things out there, having the commanding general throw out the first pitch. We're hoping the flagpole is up, that the city has finally worked out, the deal with the county to get the flagpole erected. And, you got the commanding general of the base coming over there. We're hoping the flagpole's up with the flag.
flagpole's there.
We have one we use, but it's not as grand as the flagpole out. Shut up, Preston. I know what you're talking about. Stop that. The great scoreboard they've got out now, the flagpole, all the signs. If you haven't been out there, you missed a treat because that ballpark is
It's beautiful.
It's pretty legit.
It's awesome.
But they're gonna have taps played instead of the 7th inning stretch. They'll play taps, in honor of all our service members that paid the ultimate sacrifice or have gone on, and passed away. So it's gonna be just a great night. A lot of military themed stuff out there. I'm sure they got to be able to arrange a flyer. You got the general there. Sure we can arrange an Osprey
Isn't
flyer.
that what they're trying to do? I remember.
I'm
I
sure.
think Dylan told us that they're going.
And it's
try
not
and
like we
do
don't have
it,
a
but-
flyer every night. It's just not at the national anthem time. So every night you're sitting there, and there's probably some of these Old North State League teams coming from Laurinburg and all that. And they go, man, they have an Osprey plane flyer. They have a flyer. It's just because it happens all the time here.
Yeah.
We're used to it. But we'll be on the radio on Freedom 97.1 for these Tuesday night baseball games. For the Osprey games of the week, 97.1 FM, 1120 AM WSME, online at WSME971.com. On the app, of course, our great app we have now. You can download the free WSME 97.1 WSME app on the Apple Store, and then you can also, hopefully coming up soon, the Google app will be coming. We want to thank our sponsors for this fine event. These are the exclusive broadcast sponsors. You got Onslow County Motor Company, Jersey Mike Subs, Silent Service Center, and Card Crazy Sports, who's about to become one of our sponsors on Sports Talk, too.
Yeah.
Tom Hatchell and his crew. If you like collectibles, Bill, you need to go to Card Crazy Sports. You know where Dawson Cabin Road is.
Yeah.
You go down 17, hang a right, or right there on the corner. It's that Down East Marketplace.
Okay.
And they have, in his corner, he's got tons of collectibles.
Just to look around, you'd love
Yeah,
that thing.
you just love to see some of he's got a lot of Yankee stuff, I'm sure. Tom Hatchell does a great job. You two, Rick, go down there.
We need to go.
Who's your team?
Been there.
Are you a Braves man?
Yes.
Okay, Braves
Yes.
guy. So you grew up in the South like us to where we had nobody.
Right.
Yeah, we had to latch onto the Braves because they're the closest geographically. Technically, Baltimore may have been closer as the crow flies, but I don't know. It just seemed like the only Southern team we had back then was the
Well,
Braves.
as football, Redskins.
Redskins.
Redskins back then.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Redskins. I was a Packers fan, Dolphins fan. I kind of jumped around. Atlanta when they had Buddy Curry and Steve Barkowski,
Yep.
and the 1980 team, the Grits Blitz team that came that close. Thank you, Dallas, to making the Super Bowl, but lost to the Dallas Cowboys. But we didn't have a team until the Panthers came along. So yes, it's kind of that way. Would really love, and I know you would too, to be able to go up to Raleigh-Durham or to Raleigh.
Oh, yeah.
I don't go to Durham. I want to go to Raleigh and see a baseball game.
Well, isn't
They're pushing hard.
isn't the Canes owner trying to
Yeah,
make
Tom
a push
Dundon,
for
the
it?
Carolina Hurricanes owner, who has a house here in Holly Ridge. Huh?
Why
working that too.
hasn't he been on the show
Well,
yet?
I've been stalking the house and haven't got him home yet. He's been busy.
He's been a little bit busy.
No, I got a friend that does the cleaning there, so she's trying to work that magic. So we would love to get him in because
yeah. That'd be great.
he owns the Hurricanes now. When he bought the Hurricanes, I saw the stat the other day. It was like $600 million to buy them. He sold a minority share of it recently, a small share for $2-something billion.
Oh my gosh.
That's how quick that in 10 years has grown. And of course, since he took over, they've made the playoffs every year. Of course, Rod Brindamore has a lot to do that too, bringing in Brindamore.
Yeah.
But before that, it was like 10 years before the Hurricanes made the playoffs. And now they made the playoffs the last 10 years. And everybody was knocking them every year saying they can get there, Eastern Conference Finals, they just can't make it.
Right.
Well, they made it this year.
Well,
so.
think about it. It's kind of similar to like, I mean, obviously Atlanta's won multiple World Series, but like this century alone, like always making it and just not getting over, and then they
You say
finally got their
multiple,
one.
it's only been two.
Well, yeah, so it's
Yeah.
only been two, but this like in the 2000s,
Yeah.
just specifically and everything
In
like
the late
that.
90s. You're talking about a team, though, that won what was it, like 18 straight
Oh, yeah.
division titles and
Yeah.
one World Series at
Yep.
that time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you're right. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So you want to get to the big game and you want to be, successful every year, but your fans, it's like everything else. Once you get to that point, like Dixon football, they've made it the best season they ever had. Next year, people will want more.
Yeah.
They want to go past that second round. They had their first playoff win. They want to go deeper. Southwest football for years would get to the Eastern Finals and lose. Not years, but a couple of times. Then they get to the state championship and win. So now your expectation is not, we don't want a successful season, we want another state championship.
Yeah.
That's the way the fans are. Bill, it was great to have you with us today, man.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Well, we have to
Good
do it
time.
again.
Always
We're
a
not waiting
pleasure.
35 more years.
That's right.
You too, Rick. Great having you with us.
My pleasure.
Anything you guys want to share before we go? Before I do our
Can't
sponsors?
think of anything.
You just want to get them cheeseburgers, don't you?
Whatever.
Cheeseburgers and BLTs. Thank you to Helen's Kitchen for doing that. Like I said, make sure you tune in our Ospreys game of the week this coming Tuesday, June 23rd. Ospreys versus Shallywags pregame show with me and Preston Kelly at 6:15 p.m. First pitch at 6:30. We got that thing down pat, I think now, don't we? How to run the system.
So. Yeah.
We just hope it's doing its thing on the foul pole network. Well, we know when we're on WSME that Hollywood's got us on the air.
Of course.
So before we go, I'm back on This Day in Sports. I don't need to read that again. I want to thank all our fine sponsors here at Sports Talk. Of course, Sports Talk is powered by Golden Corral and Billy Sewell, Rock Creek Golf and Country Club, the pro Rick Morton, Superior Metal Structures and Concrete there in Beulahville. One thing on the Rock Creek thing, go to their Facebook page if you have it and view the pictures on there. If you know those two clowns that tore up the golf course and stole some flags, please help them out, report. All they want is the stuff back. That's what Rock Creek says, but whatever, they need to do better than what they did. That's not a golfer's way of doing things to be a jackleg on the course. So go check out their Facebook page if you know those two clowns. See if you can't give them some relief out there at Rock Creek. National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, thank you to Harry Brown and his crew. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, of course, Jason Humphrey sponsors our Ospreys Report, our Hurricanes Watch, and so much more. He's the title sponsor of the Osprey Nest out there. So thank you to Jason. CNS Paint, Ron Choate and Victor Case. PRQ Exteriors, roofing done right here at home, Mr. Austin Wright. Fountain Management, Lisa Thornton and Sandra Fountain. Southern Touch Painting, Roger Carroll. All About Floors, Ron Prince. Liberty Tire. Onslow County Motor Company, Ben Beasley and his crew. Once again, thank you to them for doing the racing report also, on top of all their other sponsorship duties. And thank you to them for being one of our radio sponsors for the Ospreys broadcast. Bartley Insurance Services, Bill Mercer and Drew Mercer. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning. Jones Onslow EMC, your people that keep the power on for us. All these events, it's hard to do without lights.
Yeah.
So thank you to Jones Onslow. Jones LP Gas there in Verona, $11 cylinder refill today on Friday. Lane Associates Family Dentistry, the official dentist of the Carolina Hurricanes. And special thanks once again to Helen's Kitchen and Billy Grissett for those delicious cheeseburgers and BLTs we're about to dive into. And before we go, one more thing. Thank you, Hollywood, for all you do.
Oh, wow.
The great and powerful Oz behind the scenes there. Come and shake my hand. Thank you for all you do. You got our website up and just kicking booty on there. Everything spiders off the website, WSME971.com. You can listen to all the sports live stream, connect to our YouTube and our Facebook pages. Go to that QR code and you can go right to it. I feel like Vanna White. The QR code, I just don't look like her. And of course, the Freedom 97.1 WSME app on the Apple Store. That's a great addition.
Yeah, it's really easy. Just go to the App Store. Just search Freedom 97.1 WSME. You'll get it. Google Play, it should be active at any moment for Android, and we'll let you know.
And if you get out of range of the station, FM and AM, which AM goes pretty good distance, all you got to do is hit that app and you're right there listening,
And here's the
streaming.
thing, we also have CarPlay. So
Yeah.
if your phone connects straight to your car, it'll just pop right up there, just like satellite radio or anything else.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
But back in the day, I had to use a little cord. I know how to Bluetooth now a little bit. Preston's taught a few things on technology-wise.
Preston's on top of them.
I know.
He's young.
All right, and Google Play is coming for your Android, but that's a wrap. WSME971.com, everything runs off of that. So that's a wrap. We'll see you Tuesday night for Tuesday Night Baseball with the Ospreys, and we'll see you next week on Sports Talk.